This is Akashvani Mangaluru. Yuvavani. Dear friends, welcome to today's English Yuvavani program. In a way, today's program is very special. Three young friends, Prapthi, Kishor, Pilankar, Medha, Prabhu, Shivamogga and Manwitha, Sathyamurthy are going to deliver their short speeches in connection with the Women's Equality Day, August 26. In the beginning, it is Prapthi, Kishor, Pilankar on the Women's Equality Day.
Femina Miss India 2022. Question asked to the contestant was, what was her view on gender equality? She replied firmly, the fact that we need to ask this question tells us all about it. Rubal Shekhawat's voice rings out for millions of women who continue to strive for equal rights and opportunities. Greetings from Prapthi. Today on occasion of Women's Equality Day, I am glad here as a voice of all the women in the world striving for equality. Let's begin with knowing the scenario of women right from the Vedic period. The position of women during the Vedic period was glorious on account of freedom and equality. During this period, the women participated in every walk of life. Women studied in gurukuls and enjoyed liberty in every sphere. The great women like Apala, Viswara, Yamini, Gargi stole the limelight and became frontrunners in society. The wife has been blessed to live as a queen in the husband's house in the Rig Veda. There was no prohibition in the remarriage of widows and also no discrimination between a boy and girl. This shows a high status of women in this era. Moving towards the post-Vedic period, the women had suffered drastic hardships and restrictions. The male-dominated society was set up by increasing the authority of men. Women's position was further degraded during this period with the invasions of Alexanders and Huns. With the threats of invading soldiers roaming countryside, women were prohibited to attend public functions and were placed behind the veil. Many social evils like female infanticides, sati, and child marriage were being introduced. During this period, child marriage was firmly enforced. Girls had to get married before puberty at the age of 8, which was regarded as an ideal one. Early marriage was followed by early maternity, which increased the mortality amongst the women. In this period, there has been a decline in the ratio of women. This historic phase shows how a woman, from being a single, independent, enjoying all the freedom and equality, was transformed into a person who had no identity, no freedom to be with. Rani Lakshmibai, Savitribai Phule, Ramabai Ranade, and many such lady freedom fighters drew the attention of a large number of people and generated confidence among the women to raise their voice against the oppressive system. One of the movements which lead to the rights of the women is the historic movement in US when the 19th Amendment to the US Constitution was officially certified in 1920, granting women the right to vote. And that day is what celebrated as Women's Equality Day. Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and many great leaders have sculpted the right to vote, right to education, right to inheritance in father's property, right to paid pregnancy leave, and many such other rights in our Indian Constitution. The position of women was varied in different pre-constitution periods. Initially, women were given respect and recognition within the society, but within the course of time, their position suffered a degradation. However, today, women are contributing to the nation's prosperity and growth. With the help of legal system, women have become independent socially and politically. But yet, in this 21st century, there are plenty of women left uncared for, facing violence, molestations, and inequality. We all are aware of these things, but getting it controlled constantly is a need of the time. Still, in many instances, these rights remain on a piece of paper and is not the reality. Let me start discussing the most sensational topic, that is female feticide. Yes, we are almost successful in this fight, but if we still ask people regarding the lamb for lineage, and it will point towards the sons predominantly. The survey study by Pew Research Centers conducted during March 2022 conveys this in a more clear view. We have suppressed the female feticide to an extent, but still acceptance of a girl child is a question mark in the society. Moving towards a very sensitive trauma of a present era, the molestation. The incidents of Garo Hills, Meghalaya, Nirbhaya, and many such incidents which were highlighted and some not been highlighted by the media are reasons to think over women equality. Yes, to be frank about the scenario, it is not that only women are facing the above issues like molestation, but when we look at the ratio, it has a whole different story to tell. And after such incidents, social media is flooded with lot of empathy, debates, concerns, and most vague slogans motivating girls to be Durga. Why not boys are asked to be Rama or Shiva? The cultural dressings and other rules apply to women rather than teaching men to see their opposite gender with equality. Women are on the farthest side of leadership rights. Not only India, globally it is a matter of concern where only 18 countries are successful to promote women as Prime Minister and half of the number stands for the President post. In the 76 years of independence, India has had only one woman Prime Minister and 2 women Presidents so far. Difference in payment scales, grabbing job opportunities is again the place where the skills are lowered over the gender. Appreciating skills over any gender will really help to shape our country's future. They are seen to be on the darker sides at their homes too. Let me begin with the domestic violence. Globally, 1 out of every 4 women is domestically abused. Also, women who work both inside and outside the home often face a variety of challenges including time management, stress, and the struggle to balance work and family responsibilities, as they are expected to do everything like managing household, taking care of kids and elders, and many such other roles. One of the biggest reasons for it is a lack of family support. On one hand, they want a lady who works and supports family. On the other hand, they would also want her to do all the household work perfectly. Due to workload, stress often comes out as an anger issues, sleep disturbance, mood swings, and other stress-related psychosomatic disorders. The above situation perfectly highlights the war between physical and emotional health. Being human, we all have a right for a happy life. If our families would stand firmly, if we share loads, especially by her husband, it will be really a great step towards equality. Since independence, India has made many important changes and developments, including right for women's education and empowerment. By promoting education for women, India is achieving higher literacy rates. However, there are wrecks due to different malpractices and social stigmas, child labor, dowry, standard age limits for marriage, which are again some reasons for inequality. Education is one of the most important weapons for fighting social stigmas and illogical practices. So, education is the only important tool for social rights of all genders, which can help us to lead towards the equality. Though the problems I have said are addressed on regular basis, but we are miles away from our ambition of equality. Our Indian culture has always depicted equally powerful women characters such as Draupadi, Parvati, Sita, Savitri, who have showcased real power of women, but this could have not happened without the support of a man in their lives. Let us worship these qualities too and step ahead towards our aim of equality. It might sound odd for some people here, But our culture really provides us with a great moral values that can be extracted out of it instead of viewing it as a myth. For sure, this will help us to achieve the ideal world, and its results will be outstanding in the upcoming generations too. A letter for all women standing there. A beautiful woman has her heart for love. Let us save a little part of this heart for us too. Let's carry out responsibilities by falling in love and taking care of our inner child too. Women's Day 2024 theme was Inspire Inclusion, stating, when women themselves are included, there is a sense of belonging, relevance, and empowerment. So, let us make ourselves a priority, because loving ourselves first will really set standards for others. This disease of inequality is not only perceived by gender, sexual inequality symptoms, but also tells us about inequality based on class, religion, age, ethnicity, disability. If it is treated with a dosage of humanity, we will really achieve a great success towards equality. By promoting equality, we can create a world where every person has the opportunity to thrive and contribute a brighter future. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I have a great dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. This dream reflects the aspiration for a world where equality prevails, and it is a dream worth pursuing for generations to come. The day we'll achieve this will serve purpose of life, heading towards a new dawn in the society and with sunrise of wealthy globalization and harmony. Winding this up with the beautiful words of Matt Starking, justice for all, equal rights for everyone. A world where no one is marginalized or shunned, where all are treated with respect and love. A world where our differences are celebrated above. No longer shall we discriminate or allow prejudice to seal someone's fate. We must stand together and fight for what is right, to bring an end to the hatred and unite. Color, race, creed or gender should never be a cause for dismember. Our humanity and respect for each other should always remain the constant hallmark for our culture. We were all created equal and free, and our basic human rights must be guaranteed. The right to life, liberty and equality must be upheld even in the face of adversity. May our voice be heard as we speak out against injustice and world. May we stand firm in our call for equality and build a world where world is only the reality.
That was Prapthi Kishor Pilankar speaking on the Women's Equality Day. Now, over to Medha Prabhu Shivamogga.
This day, celebrated on August 26th, is all about acknowledging the progress we have made and recognizing the work still needed to achieve true gender equality. So, what does this equality for women mean? Why do you think this day is celebrated? We all know that men and women are physically built different. But irrespective of that, women should have same rights, opportunities and treatment as men. This principle of equality applies to all the areas of life. It might be education, employment, health or personal freedom. The Women's Equality Day celebrates a big win for women, the right to vote. It reminds us that all people should be treated fairly, no matter if they are a girl or a boy. In 1920, a major thing happened. The 19th Amendment to the US Constitution was officially certified. This amendment guaranteed women the right to vote, a major victory in the long struggle for gender equality. It's more than just a historical date. It's a reminder of the battles fought for women's rights and call to action to continue pushing for equality in all the areas of life. It's about making the idea of equality a natural part of our routine, rather than something we only think about once a year. Thanks to the hard work of countless activists and advocates, women today have more rights and opportunities than ever before. For example, we have women leading countries, running major corporations and making groundbreaking discoveries in science. Leaders like Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, or Dr. Kiran Majumdar Shah, who founded Biocon. These women show us that breaking barriers is not just possible, it's happening right now. But this does not mean we ignore the challenges that still exist, right? Gender inequality is not just a thing in the past. Women around the world still face obstacles in many areas, including workplace, education, and personal safety. Women around the world are still fighting for equal pay, better representation, and protection from discrimination and violence. Let me explain you with this an example. The gender pay gap. The gender pay gap remains a significant issue. Women often earn less than men for the same work. According to 2023 report by the World Economic Forum, women in India earn about 40% less than men on average. Additionally, in many parts of the world, girls still struggle to access quality education. Isn't this sad? This is not just statistics. They represent real barriers that affect millions and women of girls. Women's Equality Day helps shine a light on these issues and encourages all of us to push for a change. On this day, many people organize events, discussions, and activities to raise awareness and celebrate women's contribution to society. We can say it's also a moment to recognize and honor the efforts of countless individuals, both women and men, who have worked tirelessly to advance gender equality. To understand Women's Equality Day. In India, Dr. Savitribai Phule, she broke new ground in 19th century by opening one of the first schools for girls. Savitribai is best known for her efforts in promoting education for girls and women. Her dedication to education and social reform set an example that continues to inspire generations. Savitribai's work extends beyond education. She was a local advocate against caste discrimination and child marriage. She actively worked to improve the status of women in the society and campaigned for their rights and dignity. The second story would be of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a key leader in India's struggle. He supported the idea of women taking part in political and administrative roles, advocating for their involvement in shaping the future of the country. His vision for united India included the belief of inclusion of women in political and social fabric of the nation. And also take example of World War I and World War II. Women took on roles traditionally held by men, which played a crucial role in reshaping public perceptions about women's capabilities and contribution. This shift in perception helped build support for women's rights more broadly. We can also see today modern leaders like Kiran Bedi, Nirmala Sitharaman, who have broken barriers in various fields and showcased the strength and resilience. Think about the everyday heroes in our community. Women who are not in the spotlight but are making huge difference. For example, there might be a teacher inspiring a student, a nurse providing care, or a community leader advocating for local issues. In a sense, Women's Equality Day is about acknowledging the past, celebrating the present, and working towards a better future. So, what should we do to achieve this gender equality? If you ask me, education. Education is the most powerful tool for achieving gender equality. When girls are educated, they have the chance to reach their full potential and contribute to their communities in meaningful ways. Women should have freedom of movement to move around freely as they please, not just within the country they live in, but also to visit others. But many women face real challenges when it comes to this. They may have not allowed to have their own passports, or they might have to seek permission from male guardian in order to travel. So, it's important to let women explore, which will help her to gain confidence and empower herself. On Women's Equality Day, let's commit to supporting gender equality in our lives and communities. Let's celebrate the progress we have made already, but also recognize the work that still lies ahead. Together, we can make sure that promise of equality becomes reality for everyone in the world. Well, we all are aware of International Women's Day, which is celebrated every year on March 8th. But Women's Equality Day remains a lesson known by all of us, as it is only specific to the United States. This day is a part of larger global conversation about gender equality. Many countries have their own days dedicated to celebrating and advancing women's rights, often linked to significant milestones in their own histories. Imagine if every day was Women's Equality Day. What if we didn't just set aside one day to a year to celebrate this progress. But we actively worked on it every single day? It might sound like a big dream, right? But think about the impact it could have. Amazing. Over the years, women are treated unequally all their life in India. Women's issues like safety, equal pay, sexism, and healthcare are brushed under the carpet in India. The law has equal rights for women, but with a heavy heart I say, practically, the equality for women doesn't exist even in 21st century. Take one example. One major issue like gender-based violence. Women in India face various forms of violence, including domestic abuse, sexual harassment, and trafficking. Despite laws and campaigns to address these problems, many women still experience violence and find it difficult to seek help or justice. According to National Family Health Survey, about 30% of the Indian women have experienced domestic violence. Shocking, right? But thanks to organizations like Tata Institute of Social Sciences who are working to provide economic support and job training to rebuild their lives. Social norms and cultural practices also play a role. In some areas, traditional attitude towards women have limited their freedom and opportunities. Practices like child marriage, restrictions on women's mobility can also have serious long-term effects on their health and also has affected their education and overall well-being. So, programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao aim to improve girls' education and counteract these barriers by promoting educational opportunities and also by providing financial incentives for their families. Let me also talk about the need for social change. While there have been significant strides towards gender equality in India, ongoing efforts are crucial. Addressing these struggles requires not only legal or policy changes, but also shift in societal attitudes and practices. According to 2019 Time Use Survey conducted by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, women spend about 4.5 hours per day on unpaid care work compared to men. It's an imbalance. It's a total imbalance. This will limit women's opportunities to paid employment and personal development. In India, the government gave its women the right to vote since we got independence. But there are many areas where the efforts for making equal opportunities in society for women is very less. There are a handful of women who represent a large section of society in the parliament. So, India needs to celebrate Women's Equality Day to acknowledge the rights of its women. And as a country, if we want to grow, we need to give equal opportunities to women and stop treating them unfairly in the name of culture and tradition. What can we do to make this possible? What can each of us do to make a change? So my first point is to educate ourselves. Educate ourselves about gender equality issues and share this knowledge with others. And the second point is speaking against discriminatory practices and support policies that promote equal opportunities. Support and engage with organizations and activists working towards gender equality and women's rights. The third point is to support initiation that women take, encourage girls to pursue education and career, and celebrate their success around the world. No matter if the achievement is big or small, but encourage. And the fourth point is involve men. This is main point. Involving boys and men as an allies to fight for gender equality and encourage them to challenge gender norms. Let's not make Women's Equality Day as just a date in the calendar or women's equality as just a topic for essay. Let's all make it a call to action. We have made a lot of progress, but there is still much work to be done. By working together, supporting one another, we can continue to build equitable world for everyone. Let this day be a commitment to gender equality and honor to the efforts of those who have worked for us. Let's keep the spirit of Women's Equality Day alive by celebrating and achievements of women everywhere and continue to strive for a world where equality is a norm, not the exception.
You have just heard Medha Prabhu Shivamogga speaking on the Women's Equality Day. Now it is Manwitha Sathyamurthy's turn.
As we all know, August 26th, the day which we celebrate as Women's Equality Day. A woman, she may be a sister, a mother, or a wife, whatever she is. She will fight for her loved one. She fights with this word. It's not easy to be a woman. Today, we get to see women representing themselves in the various sections: in a military as an officer, a scientist in a laboratory, in space, as a head of an institution, as a sportsperson, and many more. She achieved a lot, but to reach this level in this society, in order to achieve equal rights, she had to undergo many struggles. We all know that we celebrate on August 26th as Women Equality Day. It all started when women began to agitate and raise their voices for equal voting right in early 19th century in America. In America, a woman was not allowed to inherit property. Her wages was halved compared to a man's wage. This led to women's suffrage movement in which women participated actively to fight for their rights. In one of her speech, Malala said, "I raise my voice not so that I can shout, but those one without voices can be heard. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back." Though in 1878, the US government introduced new amendment to the constitutions regarding voting rights to women, it was a failure. Women participations in World War was found to be useful, but American citizens at home denied democratic rights. Today, we celebrate on August 26th because on the same day in 1920, the Secretary of State, Mr. Bainbridge Colby, signed the proclamation granting the American women the constitutional right to the vote. In 1971, the nationwide women started to strike for equality. In the following year, in 1972, President Richard Nixon issued a proclamation 4147, according to which August 26 will be celebrated as Women Equality Day, and it was the first official proclamation of Women Equality Day. So, in order to commemorate the adoption of 19th Amendment to United States Constitution in 1972, we celebrate it as a Women Equality Day. The significance of the celebration is to remind us all that the hurdles the women faced despite of violence and discrimination in order to secure voting rights for women, which is also an indication of equality. It's a reminder for those women who are still struggling in a society for their rights to keep on fighting and to never to lose their hope. Today, we are able to recognize women in many sections. Women like Sania Nehwal, Vinesh Phogat, Sania Mirza, P.V. Sindhu, and many more are represented our country and won medal so far in Olympics. Women all over the world, example Ellen Collins, Christy Wise, Divya Ajit Kumar, Ruchi Sharma, and many more represented army wings. Similar to them, they are women who are representing themselves even in health sectors, scientific researchers, and many more. They have proved that women are not only a beautiful living beings, but also a soldier who can fight to save the world, a doctor who tried their best to save the lives, a housewife who can take care and protect her family. But the bitter truth is still today that women are facing discriminations, insecurities. There is an unwritten rule to women. Being a woman implies they have to follow certain rules, which can't be found in any constitution. Opportunities are provided. Equal rights are given, though women are still facing this cruel world. Till date, women are treated as a weakling and as something of low life. I believe I am not wrong if I say people may say women have equal opportunity, but at one point the discriminations can be still seen. Rights are given, but not the security. Hopes are given, but not the support. Today, we can still see the women in higher number in many sectors. Women who are still in the shadow need support. Exposing them to opportunities may strengthen them. Encouragement plays an important role. An example, a father or a mother will be disappointed when they learn their newborn is a girl child. But if one give her an encouragement, she can be the brightest star in the sky. Harassment in the workplace is another big issue we are facing. The dealings with these harassments are really bad. It won't be wrong if I say humans are trying to save a human from another human. One should never hesitate to raise their voice against such a crime. Women's Equality Day that we are celebrating is all about recognizing and supporting women, and also it's a milestone or a trophy to the victory which explains how we have to overcome all the obstacles and inequality. Gender equality is important for the progress of any nation. So, if women are deprived of their basic rights, there will be no progression. In UNFPA have stated that despite many international agreements affirming gender equality and rights, women are still much more likely to be poor and illiterate than a man. It is sad to admit that in many Orthodox families, still women are considered as a child bearer and as a maid who are born to serve to the family. Domestic violence, harassments are still a serious issue that we are facing in today's world. There are ways to overcome all the problems and encourage women to raise their voices. A woman is a mentor to another woman. Only she can help in moving towards their goals. Education is another source of power which helps women in enjoying the equality. Being a woman is not easy. Being a woman is not one's fault, but if she failed to fight for her equality, it will be her fault. Equality doesn't mean it's a priority. It's an opportunity. Education and awareness is the best way to celebrate equal rights. We have good reason to be hopeful about gender and racial equalities. On this Women's Equality Day, we honor legacy of our forerunners who have made it possible for us to live in this world, being equal to man, rising from darkness, and gave us the reason to keep going. Salute to those women. Let's all work together for the better future and for the better world. Let's support each other. Let's grow together.
Friends, you have just listened to Manwitha Sathyamurthy speaking on the Women's Equality Day. Dear friends, that's all in today's English Yuvavani program. See you next time. Thank you.